Inside of our Razor page, let's take the message that we're currently displaying, place that into a div, and I'm going to leave that at the bottom of the page. What I want to do is take the restaurants that I know about in my system and display them in a table. Later in the course, we'll change this around, but for right now, it would be nice to have a simple table, perhaps even style this with the Bootstrap table style, and for each restaurant, display a table row that has the restaurant information inside. And the key phrase that I use there is for each restaurant. Inside of the CS.html file for a Razor page, I can write markup, but I can also switch over and use the full power of the C# programming language. So if I have a collection, like a collection of restaurants, and I want to loop through those restaurants to create a table row for each restaurant, then I can write a for each statement. All I need to do is use the @ sign to transition over into C# code, and I can say for each restaurant in model.restaurants. Remember, model with an uppercase M is what I can use to access my page model. And once I use model, I can reach any property that I have exposed from my page model. So for each restaurant, I want to create a table row. And this is where in a Razor page, I can just seamlessly transition between C# code and markup. So for each restaurant, let's write out a table row. Now I'm ready to write out table cells that contain restaurant information. So inside of here, let me switch back into C# mode. And I'm going to use a simple expression with this local variable restaurant and just say, let's display the restaurant name at this location. Let's have another cell that displays the restaurant location, and one last table cell that will include the restaurant cuisine. Now you can make this table a lot fancier. You can add, for example, table headings. And later in this course, we're going to look at a different approach for displaying this data. But for right now, I want to save all my files. I want to come back to the browser and do a refresh, because what I'm hoping to see are the restaurants that I made available from the in-memory restaurant data source, which I can now see on my page. So this data is all in memory, but later in the course, we're going to be working with a real database, and I'm not going to need to change anything inside of my Razor page. It's just going to rely on that iRestaurant data abstraction.